Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Assalatu wassalamu ala Rasulihil Kareem wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man istanna bi sunnatihi ila yawmiddin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers. Inshallah ta'ala, today we will finish the conquest of Makkah in part 3 and we'll wrap it up. So far we have learned that we did last 2 weeks about the conquest of Makkah, the Fateh Makkah. We learned that Rasulullah started this conquest because of those two tribes, small tribes. They had a fight between themselves. Basically the non-Muslim tribe attacked the Muslim tribe, and the Muslim tribe went to Medina, asked the Rasulullah that they need help, and because there was a treaty of Hudaybiyah, and this is one of the clause that no sub-tribe also can fight with each other. So that clause has been broken, and Rasulullah started the journey to conquest Makkah. We also learned that how he entered into the Makkah with humble and everything, and he praised Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as he was entering the Makkah. He opened the door of the Kaaba, he prayed inside the Kaaba, and he's standing in front of the door of the Kaaba, and he did a khutbah, and he forgave all the people. He asked the people what we should do with them, and they said you are good, and you are the son of the good, so we expect that you do good to us, and Rasulullah forgive all of them. And we also learned that there are few people, very very few people, maybe 4 or 5 people, and they did very big heinous crime against Islam, and during that time, and they were in the list of the people that Rasulullah wanted them to be killed, and they were executed, but half of them are also been forgiven by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, as he is the mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they accepted Islam. So today we're going to wrap up few other incidents, and like any other Seerah event, we don't have a chronological order, like what thing happened first, because nobody's recording the time over there. So but we have some incidents, and also we'll summarize what are the fiqh benefits, what are the hadiths, what are the incidents that we gathered from this conquest of the Makkah. Like a few things like this, we will sum it up very quickly, inshallah ta'ala. So let's start the event first. The first thing we talked that after Rasulullah prayed inside the Kaaba, he gave the khutbah. He asked Bilal radiallahu anh to climb up the Kaaba and proclaim the adhan. And you all know this incident. So Bilal radiallahu anh, he climbed up to the roof of the Kaaba. And imagine, this is a symbol from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This slave Bilal, he was being persecuted in the street of Makkah. We know the history. We talked about this in the early Seerah, that how his master, Umayyah ibn Khalaf, put stone on his chest, and he was saying Ahadun Ahad, Ahadun Ahad. Only one thing he used to know about the Islam at that time, that Ahadun Ahad, that Allah is one. That's what he was saying. And this person literally climbing on top of everyone. If you stand on top of the Kaaba, it's a literal sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This person, he is now on top of you. And he was standing there, and he's saying, Ashhadu la ilaha illallah, Ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah, Hayya al-salah, Hayya al-salah, Hayya al-falah, Hayya al-falah. And you all know the meaning of the adhan, that summarized Islam. Come to the salah, come to the good things, that Allah is Ashhadu la ilaha illallah, we're giving the witness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and Rasulullah Islam. So he's giving the adhan. By looking at this, the few Quraysh were standing there, and actually 3 of them are mentioned in the books, Al-Haris ibn Hisham and Itab ibn Asid. Al-Haris ibn Hisham, he was an actually important person. He was the full brother of Abu Jahl. The Abu Jahl who was been killed in Battle of Badr, who was the Pharaoh of this ummah. Haris ibn Hisham was his brother. So Haris ibn Hisham and Itab ibn Asid and Abu Sufyan, they all 3 standing and seeing that Bilal is climbing and giving the adhan, and they are commenting about themselves. So what did they say? Al-Haris ibn Hisham, he said, if this person, he's talking about Rasulullah, if this person was truthful, I would have followed him. So he still thinks that Rasulullah is not truthful. That's what he's thinking. And the Itab, he's saying, I'm happy that my father is not alive today. Because if he's alive today, and if he saw that a black slave climbing into the Kaaba, it will be very insulting for him. I'm happy that he's not here to standing there. And Abu Sufyan, he said, Abu Sufyan, now is he a Muslim now, or is he a non-Muslim still? Muslim now. How long ago he took Shahada? Not even 24 hours, right? Because he took the Shahada on the morning of the conquest. Because just before Rasulullah come into the Makkah, in the morning, he reluctantly accepted Islam. But what he said? He said, as for me, I will keep my mouth shut. Because if I say something, even the rock will inform Rasulullah sallallahu. So it's a very interesting statement. So he's not against them. He's not against these two friends of him, but he's also not for them. And he believed that if he says something, even the rock will go and tell Rasulullah sallallahu. So Islam is not entered into his heart completely, because he just not even, as I said, a few hours he accepted Islam, and all his life he was against Islam. So for this we get the expression that it takes time for few people to accept Islam inside. Even for nowadays for a Muslim family, if you give some dawah to some brother who haven't prayed for a long time, who didn't pray 5 times, maybe it will take some time to get the Islam and everything. It doesn't happen everything in one day. He just not going to start growing beard in one day, or start praying, tahajjud and everything in one day. It will take time, because these people are standing here, they are receiving dawah from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He is himself the Rasul. They spend their life with him. 23 years they spend with him. They saw every miracle that he can show them. Still they have some doubts in their mind. So at the end of this, when Bilal finished the adhan and everything, so Rasulullah passed by this group, these 3 people. He was passing by, and Rasulullah say word to word that, yeah Haris, you said this. Yeah Itab, you said this. And Abu Sufyan, you said this. Because Jibril came and told. At that moment, Haris ibn Hisham said, Ashhadu annaka Muhammad Rasulullah, la ilaha illallah. So he accepted Islam right away. Nobody knows what we said between us, between 3 of us. But only you could be the prophet, and no matter what. So he became a Muslim at that time. Even the Itab, he also accepted Islam at that time. And Al Haris ibn Hisham, the brother of Abu Jahl, he became a very good Muslim later on. And we have few hadiths from him. One of the great hadiths that after he accepted Islam in Makkah, because Rasulullah stayed in Makkah for 19 days. In the conquest of Makkah, Rasulullah stayed in Makkah 19 days. Some scholars say 18 days, some say 20 days. But around 19-18 days he stayed in Makkah. And during this time, this new Muslim has a lot of questions, obviously. So they asked, one of the questions Haris ibn Hisham asked Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, how did you get wahi? And we have this tradition, we talked about this before, that Rasulullah mentioned how he get, sometimes it's a ringing of a bell, sometimes he can see something when he closes his eyes. So how Jibril comes to him? So this guy asked him this question, and Rasulullah answered him this way. So this is the incident about this one. And Haris ibn Hisham also, there's another incident. Last week we talked about another son of Abu Jahl, the son of Abu Jahl. So he's the brother of Abu Jahl, and the son of Abu Jahl was Ikrimah. And Ikrimah also accepted Islam, not now, later, because Ikrimah ran away. When he tried to attack the Muslim, he gathered few people and he tried to attack the Muslim in the conquest, and he fled out because he couldn't fight with them. It was 10,000 people. So he was scared, he left the Makkah. He ran away to the Jeddah, towards the Jeddah. But later on, he was boarding a ship, and that ship, fall into a storm and everything. And he just, he got scared, and the salesperson said, nobody can help us except Allah. So that scare give him something, in his feelings, and he became a Muslim. So Ikrimah came back few days later, and he accepted Islam. So both the son of Abu Jahl and the full brother of Abu Jahl, they accepted Islam, and they became a good Sahaba. And there's a very interesting event about these 2 people and another Sahaba in the Battle of Yarmouk. Battle of Yarmouk is one of the greatest battle in the time of Abu Bakr. It started in the time of Abu Bakr, and that opened the pathway for Syria. And in that battle, what happened? The Muslim was fighting tremendously. This is the fighting with the Romans. And 3 Sahaba, Al Haris, Ikrimah ibn Abi Jahl, and I think other Sahaba, I think his name is Ashia, who accepted Islam later on. Umar ibn Khattab sent him later, So these three Sahaba, they were injured. And one small boy came and bring a glass of water to Haris ibn Hisham. He said, okay, you drink the glass of water because they're injured. He said, no, I don't need the water, give it to my brother, Ikrimah. So he took it to the Ikrimah. Ikrimah said, no, I don't need water. Give it to the, Ayyash. Sorry, his name is Ayyash. The Ayyash, yeah. So he give it to the Ayyash. So he bring it to the Ayyash. And when the boy took the water to the Ayyash, Ayyash said, no, I don't need the water, I'm dying. So he passed away. And he said to give it to the other person. When he gave to the first person, he also died. So just for one glass of water, these 3 people, 3 Sahaba, they wanted to give it to the glass of water to the last Sahaba, his brother. But all of them passed away in this time. And Allah had probably accepted them as Shaheed. So this is the incident about the Haris ibn Hisham. Next incident, the Rasulullah after that, he went to the Safa, in the mountain of Safa, and he asked all the men to come and give allegiance. All these people there in the Makkah, they came and give oath of allegiance to Rasulullah. And also, he called the ladies, of the women of the Quraysh. So they all came, and it was said in the book, they're all wearing niqab. It's not like, Rasulullah told them to wear niqab. It was like a tradition that wearing a niqab. Now, there's a difference of opinions whether niqab is fard or not, in our time and everything. So we're not going to go into that. But anyway, niqab is a practice, hijab and niqab was a practice during even the time, before the time of Islam. So, ladies over there, they used to wear hijab, they used to cover their hair, and also they used to cover their face also. Anyway, Rasulullah took allegiance from the ladies, but Rasulullah never took allegiance, never touched a hand of a woman, except that she is her mahram, like except that she is her wife, or her granddaughter or something. Rasulullah never ever touched a hand of a woman. And from that we will go to a issue, whether shaking your hand with the mahram is, what is it, haram, makruh, or what. We'll talk about that inshallah ta'ala later on. And so there's some interesting event happened when he was taking oath from the ladies. Among the ladies wearing the veil, niqab, was the wife of Hind. We talked about Hind last week also, what she did. When Abu Sufyan came in, she was angry. She was to slap her husband. So she was very active woman, very aggressive woman. So Rasulullah was telling the ladies to do something. First thing he told the ladies, la tushrik billah. Don't make shirk of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't worship any other idol, any other thing except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the message of the Tawheed, okay? And then she questioned, she didn't understand that, and she said, she thought that Rasulullah was coming as a army here. So she doesn't, she's saying that, you didn't ask this from the men. Why are you asking us to give up our gods? Then Rasulullah said, no, I asked everybody. This is the message of Islam. Then she said, okay, that's fine. If you ask, I will give it to you. Then Rasulullah told the ladies, do not, la tasrik. La tasrik means do not steal money. And then Hind said, from the veil, I used to steal money from Abu Sufyan. Meaning, Abu Sufyan is her husband, so sometimes she used to take money. And Abu Sufyan heard that and she said, yeah, I forgive your past and everything. When she said that I used to steal money from Abu Sufyan, Rasulullah asked the question, are you Hind? Because it was covering his veil. Now, she said I used to steal money from Abu Sufyan, so it's obviously that she is the wife of Abu Sufyan. So Rasulullah asked, are you Hind? And she said, yes, I am Hind, and please forgive the past. So she how smart she is, because she now Rasulullah know that she is Hind. And what did Hind do? Hind took the body part of Hamza radiallahu anhu, and Hamza was so close to Rasulullah. So right away she said, yes, I am Hind, please forgive the past. So Rasulullah didn't say that I forgive you, but he didn't even punish her also. And then Rasulullah said, don't do zina, la yakzin. So don't do zina. So he's advising the ladies. And then Hind said, do you expect us to do zina? Meaning that even at that time, the good ladies, the free ladies, the ladies, the women from the good family, they never used to commit zina. They are always with the husband. Not like nowadays. Nowadays, all the elite people and everything, everywhere, zina is everywhere, right? But even that time, she was surprised that Rasulullah asked this question. She was surprised that how can you ask that not to commit zina? We never do that. So that one. And the last question Rasulullah said, la iqtulu awladikum, meaning don't kill your children, because that was like a practice in the Makkah that they used to kill the baby girl. And then she answered in every question she has to make a comment, and she commented that yes, for this we raised them as baby and you kill them in Badr, them as adult. So she's saying that we raised them as baby, and when they became adult, you kill them in the battle of the Badr. So he's giving explanation. And when Abu Umar was standing beside Rasulullah, he heard this and he felt so much like a joke or something. He started laughing, and he's laughing so much, and he fell down. Umar because she didn't understand what Rasulullah is saying. Rasulullah is saying, never kill a children, and she's saying that no, we raised our child and make them adult, and you guys kill them in the war or something. So and after this, Rasulullah told Umar, you go and take the allegiance from the ladies. So now there's the ikhtilaf that Umar whether he took allegiance by hand from the ladies or not. Some scholars say yes, he did, because if not, then Rasulullah would never say Umar to do that. By giving dawah, giving the message of Islam is already allegiance from Rasulullah. But some scholars said, yeah, Umar probably, they give the hand on the hand of Umar to give the bayah of the Islam. The next thing is that the feeling of the Ansar. What I mean by this actually, when all these things were happening, the Ansar from Medina, they were sitting in the corner and they're watching all this thing. Few of them had some feeling out of the love of Rasulullah. It's nothing wrong, They said that, now he's so close to his own relatives. Now the love of his relatives come into the heart of Rasulullah. He forgot us. So, it happens with us also, right? So if you're close to one brother and all of a sudden he's talking to someone else, being nice to other brothers, you feel some kind of, jealousy and inside, I am so close to him and he's not looking at me now at all. So this is something happening in the minds of the Ansar. And, Jibril came and told Rasulullah. So immediately Rasulullah went in on the other side. He called all the Ansar, all the men and the women of the Ansar. He called for a meeting for them, And he asked them, did you tell this? That the love of my relative overcome? And look here, again, this happened again. Jibril came and told Rasulullah that they said this. Even after that, Rasulullah asked them to verify them. It is the etiquette, the adab of Rasulullah. Although he has no doubt about Jibril. Jibril is the one he brings wahi, right? So obviously, whatever Jibril said is what toward 100% right. But he still asked the Sahaba, the Ansar, that did you say this? And they said, yes, Rasulullah, we said this. And they said, we said this because of love, but forgive us. And they cried and everything. So Rasulullah said, okay, that's fine. I am for you, and I did hijrah for you, and I will go with you. This is my, the promise. I made it in Bayatul Aqaba. Remember when Rasulullah give the Aqaba, when he, giving the tribe the promise that I will go to with you the Medina, and in return you will get Jannah. So I will be with you. And he said that some Arabic expression, it's like a phrase, al mayyatu mayyatu al mamatu mamatukum, meaning my life is for your life, my death is for your life, meaning that I will be with you all the time. So the Sahaba got happy and everything, and they asked forgiveness from Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now there's few other stories. Very quickly we'll go through this one because they're very detailed stories, but we just don't have much time. So there's the story of Fudala. Fudala is one of the guy when Rasulullah was making tawaf. So he was very angry that Muslim came and conquered the Makkah. So he made a plan that he's going to kill Rasulullah. So he had a dagger and he was behind Rasulullah doing tawaf. So he was waiting for the right moment. When Rasulullah will do the tawaf, in one moment he will kill him from the back or from the front, whatever. So when he was just behind Rasulullah turned around and asked, "Are you Fudala?" And he said, "Yes, yeah, I'm Fudala." "What are you trying to do?" And he was just scared because all of a sudden he just asked it. He said, "No, I'm not trying to do anything." And Rasulullah laughed. Rasulullah astaghfirullah, and he put his hand in the chest of Fudala. And Fudala said, once he put his hand in my chest, there was nobody beloved to me rather than Rasulullah. So all of a sudden something happened in his heart, and he said, after that I could never think of anything else that I love more than Rasulullah. And he never told Rasulullah that he wants to kill or something. He told the Sahaba later on, but he became a Muslim right away then and then. And also there are few other conversions. These are the leader of the Quraysh. They are still like Safwan ibn Umayyah. Safwan ibn Umayyah is the son of Umayyah ibn Khalaf, the master of the Bilal, and his dad passed away. So Safwan also ran away because of the Muslim attack in the Makkah. But later on he came back and he accepted Islam, and he also became a very good Muslim. And also Suhail ibn Amr, if you remember, Suhail ibn Amr is the one who wrote the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. So everybody, all the Sahaba was very angry on him. Remember that when he was, he omit the Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He said, you're not Rasulullah, right? Muhammad ibn Abdullah and all these things. He is the one. And he also came and he sent his son. His son is already Muslim. They asked for forgiveness for me. So Rasulullah forgive him, and he also became a Muslim. Also Abu Kahafa. Abu Kahafa incident. Who's Abu Kahafa? Anybody knows? Except Sheikh Yusuf. Who's Abu Kahafa? Abu Kahafa is the father of Abu Bakr. He was the father of Abu Bakr, and he was the oldest man living at that time in Makkah, probably 80 or 82 years old. So he brought his old father, and he was blind at that time. So he brought his father to Rasulullah. And when Rasulullah saw him, he said, Tarakta Sheikh, meaning, why did you bring the Sheikh here? So he's giving him respect as Sheikh, meaning he's an old guy. I could have gone to your house and take the bayah. So then Abu Bakr said, no, Rasulullah, it doesn't befitting you. So that's why I bring him. And from this incident, we gathered the knowledge. The scholar write a book that, if someone does something for you for Islam, his relative also, his cousin also get respect. By what I mean, so if your son, if your daughter do something very good for Islam, or doing something very good for the community, obviously we respect their parents. Right? For example, like we have an imam. For example, like our imam was Sheikh Aslam, right? One time he was a Hafiz, was a good Sheikh and everything. So obviously if you see his parents or something, we give him respect. Because your son is, alhamdulillah, he's a good Hafiz, he's a good imam, he's a good scholar, he's a good alim. So like this. So, because Aslam never say these things to any other people. Because what Abu Bakr did, who was Abu Bakr? He is the Sahib of Rasulullah. He is the closest friend of Rasulullah. And that's why Rasulullah give the respect to Abu Kahafa. And Abu Kahafa's hair was completely white, like a pigeon white. And that time Rasulullah said, accepted the Islam and said, make his hair, dye his hair, but avoid black. And from that we have another fiqh ruling, we'll talk about it. And this is the incident from Abu Kahafa. The next one is Ibn Jabiri. Ibn Jabiri was the poet of the Quraysh. So, basically he is the main poet of the Quraysh. And, he used to you can say he is the CNN of that time, like he used to write a lot of poets and everything about Islam. Who was the poet of Muslim side? Does anybody know? Which Sahaba was the poet of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Special secretary, the poet of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Rasulullah used to tell him, you stand up and write your poem, Jibril is with you. Does anyone remember his name? $50 question. Hassan ibn Sabit. Hassan ibn Sabit. He was the Sahaba so he used to write a poet, Ibn Jabiri, and Hassan used to reply. So they had a fight between, like a poet fight between all of them. Anyways, Ibn Jabiri also accepted Islam. He came later on and he accepted Islam from Rasulullah. The next event is the stealing of a Makhzumiyah, meaning the Banu Makhzum, the tribe of Abu Jahl. It was a very promising elite group. So one of the lady from that group, in this 19 days, she steals something. And the stealing, if you steal something, the hudud is you have to cut your hand. That's the Islamic rule, right? And these people of the Makhzum, they went to Zaid ibn Harisa. Zaid ibn Harisa, the son of Usama ibn Zaid, the son of Zaid ibn Harisa. They went to Usama and they asked Usama, please do some shuparish, some shafa'a for us to Rasulullah sallallahu, so that she is a noble lady. She made a mistake. She took some, she stole something. Maybe Rasulullah can forgive her. So Usama went to Rasulullah sallallahu and said, Ya Rasulullah, can you forgive her? And Rasulullah became very, very angry. And she said, Rasulullah said, you want to play with the hudud of Allah? And so this is Allah's rule. You want to play with Him? And then he said the famous thing, Law Fatima bint Muhammad sakalat la katatu yadaha. Saying, Wallahi, even my daughter Fatima, if he steal, I will cut her hand. So this lady's hand was cut. But later on, Aisha mentioned that she became a Muslim and everything, and she came to Rasulullah few other times. But she asked different things from different fiqh things from Aisha and Rasul, and they had a good relationship because her punishment is over and everything, because she did a crime, she got the punishment, but nobody point her finger to her all the time, no, she was a thief, she was a thief, not like this. She had her punishment, that's it, and she was close to Islam after that, and she was close to Aisha and everything. The last event that we're gonna describe here today, the Rasulullah said that to Khalid bin Walid to take some people, and there are some surrounding areas of Makkah, and they have a central temple. Like every area has a temple at that time. Like here, every area has a mosque or church or something, right? So and there are some big temples over there. So Rasulullah ordered Khalid bin Walid that you go and destroy all those temples, Al-Uzza, Al-Lat, Al-Manat, all these idols that you have to destroy them. So in that, he did that. One of the sad incident happened. It's a misjudgment from Khalid bin Walid. He attacked one of the tribe, and once he attacked the tribe, after the first attack, they surrendered, and they said, okay, we accept Islam. We accept Islam. They said Sabana. Saba means, that time, it became a Sabian, meaning that's what they mean by Islam. But Khalid bin Walid, he was very, very angry. And he said, no, I don't accept your Islam. I'm going to kill you, all of you. All the other Sahaba with him, Abdul Rahman ibn Auf and Abdullah ibn Umar, they are with the people, and they are saying to Khalid, don't do this, because they accepted Islam. Stop it here. You don't need to do this one. But Khalid bin Walid didn't listen to them, and he went away and he did a massacre. Where the message went to the Rasulullah, and Rasulullah immediately sent Ali ibn Abi Talib to calm down the situation, and he also gave a lot of gifts and money to the people who lost their family in that massacre. And he called Khalid bin Walid, and he rebuked him that you should never ever do these things, because how do you know that they haven't accepted Islam? Because did you open their heart? And same thing happened with Usama bin Zaid once also, but the same thing. So may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive him, because he became a good Sahaba. After that, he won so many battles and everything. Now, the next thing, as I said, we're going to talk about some fiqh issue, and we'll finish the conquest of Makkah. Some fiqh from the conquest, the breaking the fast. So we know that you're allowed to break your fast during the Ramadan if you're doing traveling. So that's what the Sahaba did, right? It was the month of Ramadan, and the 10th Ramadan they started the journey. And when they left Medina far away, Rasulullah ordered them that break your fast, and they break the fast. So it is allowed for you in the Ramadan that if you're doing a safar or something, you can break the fast. But the traveling begins when you leave the city, not you leave the home. Meaning what? Suppose today is one of the Ramadan, and I'm gonna leave to Bangladesh. My flight at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. I know I'm doing a safar today, doesn't mean I cannot fast now. I have to fast now. I have to fast till 4 p.m. and then I get into the plane. When the plane leaves the city, like, I understand, okay, plane they leave Sydney or something, after 10 minutes, 15 minutes, half an hour, then I am allowed to break the fast, if that time is not there. Or maybe my plane was 3 o'clock. So it's not allowed that, okay, I know I have a suffer, so I'm not fasting today. No, you cannot do that. Because the traveling begins when you leave your surrounding city. Now, depending how big your city, you measure that, but that is one of the fiqh that we know. And also the next thing is that one of the Sahaba came with his new Muslim brother and told Rasulullah, Ya Rasulullah, my brother, he accepted Islam, give him the blessing of hijrah. Because by doing hijrah was a great blessing. And Rasulullah said, La hijrata ba'd al-fatih. Meaning, after the fatih, there is no hijrah. So, there is no reward for those people, because the hijrah was a fard ayn for 7-8 years. For all the Muslims from leaving Makkah and going to it's a fard for every Muslim. But after the conquest of Makkah, it is not fard. So now, nowadays, if you do a hijrah from this country to a Muslim country, you will get the reward for what you do hijrah for, but not as reward as the Sahaba got during that last 7 years or something. Also, the next thing is the Qasr prayer. As I said, Rasulullah stayed there for 19 days. And he prayed all 5 times salah in the haram, but every salah, he shortened the salah. So 2 rakah, 2 rakah, 2 rakah, 2 rakah. But he didn't join them. He didn't join them. He prayed them on time for all 19 days, 2 rakah, 2 rakah, 2 rakah. But then there's a ikhtilaf between the scholar, how many days you can do qasr, like for how many days, and it's allowed or not to allowed. So most of the mazhab say 3 days or 3.5 days. Especially the Hanbali, Shafi, Maliki, they said if you stay for more than 3 days, then you have to pray full now. First 3 days qasr, then after the full. This is one of the opinions. There's a lot of other things in there, so you don't want to go there. But the Hanafi says for 15 days. But Rasulullah said that, for 19 days, he did qasr for all the prayers. And for us, when you go to Makkah, because we pray in Jama, okay? We pray in Jama, so because we pray behind the local imam, so we have to pray the full as we do. But if you pray in your hotel, like, if you miss the Jama or something, you have to do qasr or something. Now, Salatul Duha. What happened during this incident? One of the ladies, she was actually a full cousin of Ali ibn Abi Talib. Her name was Hane. So she had some issue. So she went to the tent of Rasulullah to meet him. And at that time, Rasulullah was taking shower. So Fatima was there. Fatima was, holding a big curtain, because that time there's no shower or everything. So she was holding a curtain, and Rasulullah was taking shower. And Rasulullah said, who is this? So she said, Ya Rasulullah, I'm Hane, and I have some issues. She described the issue. So he was staying inside the tent of Rasulullah. After Rasulullah finished the shower and everything, he came out from the curtain, and he prayed Salatul Duha. And he prayed 8 rakah of Salatul Duha. And this is the only hadith. We have a lot of hadiths about the reward of Salatul Duha, but this is the only hadith that she saw Rasulullah praying Salatul Duha. Because usually Sahaba didn't see him praying Duha. He used to pray Salatul Duha inside the room, inside his room. But this time Hane described that I saw Rasulullah pray Salatul Duha 8 rakah, but you can still pray 2 rakah, 4 rakah, 6 rakah. The scholar says that's fine. But 8 rakah is you perfected it. If you can do 8 rakah, it's better. The next one is the shaking the hand. As I said, shaking the hand is the non-mahram. So most of the scholars say it is makruh. You shouldn't do it, except for you have two, necessity, like, if it is like a darura, you have to do it, there's no other way, and you don't have any desire in this one. So, a man is shaking a hand of a woman, the woman is probably Muslim, or the man is Muslim, the woman is not Muslim, but you don't have any desire, any bad intention in your heart, and it is a necessary thing, then some scholars of the Shafi and Maliki Madhab, they say it is allowed, but most of us say it's makruh, and we should avoid this one. The next thing is the marriage of non-Muslims. As you know, a lot of people are accepting Islam now. A lot of Sahaba, they are non-Muslim, they are accepting Islam. But their wife, probably not that time, not staying with them at that time, or probably they accepted Islam later on. But for their marriage, it is still valid. And there is no new marriage contract needed, because they accepted Islam. So their old marriage, the marriage they did when they were non-Muslim, it is still valid. They don't need a new contract or anything. So this is also said, if a couple come here now and say, okay, we want to accept Islam, they're like a Hindu couple comes here and say, okay, we want to accept Islam. We give them Islam, alhamdulillah, but we don't say, okay, you have to, give your marriage again and call the Qadi and all this thing. We don't need this. Their marriage is still valid. The next thing, the wife's permission of taking money for the husband. As you know, the state of Hind, it is allowed that your wife can steal some money from the husband, but not, you should know your limit. If the husband is not fulfilling the needs of the wife, if he is very, very stingy, a wife is allowed to take some money to make the necessity needs, like, buy food for the children or for clothes or everything. It is, but you cannot just steal like $5,000 and buy a wonderful purse or watch. It's not allowed. So the coloring the hair of the men, as I said, the incident of Abu Kahafa, and Rasulullah said they avoid black, meaning, a lot of scholars said if avoid the natural color basically. So if someone, like if a white person is a Muslim white guy, he has like a blonde hair, now he wants to dye, so he has to avoid the blonde color. And most of the scholars that it is only a ruling for men, not for women. Most of the scholars, but there are difference of opinion. That this ruling of the coloring thing is only for the men. So women can color whatever they want, but that's only opinion of some scholars. Selling idols and alcohol. So the people who became new Muslim, in their house they have small idols. They used to drink wine. So what they gonna do? So some of them say we're gonna sell it in cheap. Because they want to get some money out of it or something, but Rasulullah it is haram. So the thing that is haram for you, you cannot give it to any other people. So sometimes it happened with us also. I know a brother, like he was a Muslim, but when he started doing the 5 times salah and everything, he came to the right path and everything. So he has a lot of showpieces in his house, and he said, I have a Hindu friend, I will give it to him. I said, no, it's not allowed, because although they are Hindu or something, but it is haram for you, it is haram for everybody. So you have to destroy them and throw them or something. So you can't do this one. You can sell haram things to any other people. Doesn't matter who are they. The next thing, the sanctity of the Kaaba, meaning Rasulullah, when he did the khutbah, he said the Kaaba is haram. It is called haram, and it is haram for everybody. We shouldn't do any kind of hunting, any bloodshedding, anything not allowed in the Kaaba till the day of judgment. And Rasulullah said, Allah has allowed me only for an hour, because I came as a warrior with the armor just for the conquest of Makkah. That is only for Allah allowed me, only for 1 hour. Other than that, Kaaba is always haram. Nothing can be done inside the Kaaba. And the last thing about that, the waladul firash, meaning, what happened basically, one of the great Sahaba, Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas, and another great Sahaba, his name was Abdullah ibn Juma. All these two Sahaba, Abdullah ibn Juma had a wife, and they had a son. But Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas had a relationship with that lady before the marriage, before the Islam. So Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas claimed that this son is my son. Okay? But now he's not married with them. Another Sahaba is married with that lady, and they have this child. But Sa'd ibn Abi Waqqas is saying that this is my child. And they came to Rasulullah, and Rasulullah said, Al-waladu lil firash, meaning the child is from the bed. Meaning what? Whoever is married now, the child belongs to them. So we don't go in Islamic Sharia, we don't deal all these things, what happened before marriage and what happened, what not, all these dirty things, we don't talk about that. If a couple is married and they have a son and they accepted it and everything, this is their son. Nobody can come outside from there and say, this is my son and blah blah, all these things. So this is not done in this. So inshallah ta'ala, we finish the conquest of Makkah here, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give the victory to Rasulullah, and this is when Allah said in the Quran, إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ وَرَأَيْتَ النَّاسَ يَدْخُلُونَ فِي دِينِ اللَّهِ أَفْوَاجًا فَسَبِّحْ بِحَمْدِ رَبِّكَ وَاسْتَغْفِرْ. Because Allah has given the, when Rasulullah went up to the Mount Safa, he saw that people are coming and gathering and accepting Islam. So this is the view, painted in the surah. And we will see after this one, after the conquest of Makkah, the next 2 years, lot of tribes from different parts of the Arabia, like from Yemen, from Syria, and all this part of Yemen, all the Hijaz part of it, they will come in thousands and hundreds of people and accepting Islam. And those years, we will talk about the year of delegation. So inshallah, we will finish it here. Jazakallahu khair. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik.